The 80-year-old Jolimela Mkhwanazi occupied his home 23 years ago. This is when his wife, who was a medical practitioner, was still alive. He has since refurbished and extended the house and claims no maintenance was done by the government. He has been served with summons to leave the house or pay almost 2 million rand.
They sent people here to evaluate. We have been waiting for these people for close to 5 years. They eventually arrived. In fact, I never saw the last people that gave the evaluation, but this house was evaluated for 1.9 million rands, which was just ridiculous. We asked why they are giving 1.9 million rands. They said that they compared these houses with the houses which are by the golf course. There are houses there by the golf course. They are huge houses. They face the golf course. They may be 1 million, but these houses are not even worth 50,000.
Residents now blame Public Works MEC Babalo Madigizela for withdrawing a commitment made to sell them the houses at reasonable prices.
There is such an allegation that we do not pay, we have such debts, but there has never been any following to come and say this is what you are owing. You are behind this much. In fact, what they are saying is that we never paid any rent. Since we got into those houses, we never paid any rent. But if you see on the payslip, when you see on the payslip, you will see many of these people are government servants, and the money is deducted from their from their payslips.
They've never refused to make an arrangement, but the question has always been, what do you make of the renovations we have made for the past 26 years? And yet the department has been mum on that. We are equally concerned by the fact that courts are being used to rub salt into the wounds, because we're talking here of people who are elderly, who've been in these houses for more than 30 years. They have got nowhere to go, and it's not that they do not want to comply with anything, but it could be attributed to the inefficiency and the maladministration of the department.
There seems to be clashing views between the Office of the Premier and Public Works Department. Public Works says this is part of their National Bring Back campaign, which aims to optimize government resources.
The Department of Public Works and Infrastructure in the Eastern Cape Province has initiated a number of litigations around its properties in Mthatha CBD, North Crest, Fort Gale and Greenville. This comes after a number of issues regarding the failure to sign lease agreements and to pay rent. All these matters are before the courts of law. However, let us note that the Department of National Public Works and Infrastructure initiated years ago a campaign called Operation Bring Back to encourage that all properties that belong to the state must be brought back, and that we must be able to generate income with those properties.
However, the Premier's office says it will use every policy document to ensure it fulfills its responsibility to provide decent shelter for its people.
Premier Mabuyane has directed that MEC meets with the tenants or the leadership of the structure representing the tenants, with the intention of finding a lasting solution to the issues that were raised both sides. Premier Mabuyane said the provincial government does not want to evict people from properties they've called home for a number of years, and there are no plans on the cards to evict any of those residents. He encourages people residing in these properties to sign lease agreements, because lease agreements protect them and assist them in having a security of tenure in terms of their occupation of these properties. Because these agreements have to be signed so that those who can afford to pay rent will pay rent in these properties, because people cannot stay that is those who afford to pay rent, cannot stay in these properties free of charge. The department has done property valuations in terms of leasing these properties, and those properties have to be leased properly. Premier Mabuyane said we have to conduct verification of who in the tenants is the rightful occupant, and amongst those who can afford to pay rent and which amount of rent they can pay, and which groups cannot afford to pay rent. We have a responsibility to help the people of our province to have decent shelter, and for that we will use every available policy instrument to help our people.
Public Works Department has confirmed that it is going ahead with the court proceedings to evict the occupants. Thule Joga, SABC News, Mthatha.